I'm Ian Clark, the CEO and founder of Activation Products. Today, I'm a 63-year-old with the health of a 25-year-old. Now, things didn't start that way. When I was 46 years old, I had a situation with my health that was life-threatening. Between the age of 46 and 47, I had 3 different major things hit me, one after the next. Those 3 things together were so overwhelming, I truly did not know what to do. I had all the doctors telling me that I was going to have different surgeries, I needed different pharmaceutical drugs. I was in a very life-threatening situation with my health. It involved cancer diagnosis, which were misdiagnosed. It also involved heart disease, which was real. And these are terms that are used to diagnose based upon medical experience. So the medical world has universities and they study all these different symptoms and they relate them for you when you show up to things that they've seen with other people in the past. And they try to connect it with, age groups and cultures and that type of thing. So when I was told that I had these different symptoms that indicated these very strong indications of life-threatening disease, one being a fistula cyst that had turned into a tumor that had then grown up quite large, and then a liver example with all my numbers off the charts, which indicated liver cancer. And I also had a history in my family of cancer in my family, on my mom's side particularly. My 2 uncles died 2 days apart in 1978, both of cancer, and I looked like one of them. So it was being stated that I had a genetic predisposition to an early exit based on my genetics. So all those things were interesting. They were quite scary. And everyone I spoke to had basically the same thing, just do what you're told, follow through, let the experts take care of you. But the problem I had is that I saw my uncles follow the exact protocols that were given to them for their cancer diagnosis and their cancer treatments. And they both died right on time, according to what the doctors said they would die, which was actually really soon. They both died within a year of diagnosis. One had died even within a few months. And so at any rate, them both dying 2 days apart left a deep impression in my memory that there has to be a better way. And that was in 1978 when they died, when I was 20. So here I was at 46 years old in 2004, and I just knew that the world had more things to offer in North America than they did back then. So I wanted to explore, but every time I told anyone I wanted to explore, I was told I was being irresponsible. I didn't know what I was doing. I just needed to get back to center and be reasonable and then just follow through. But I kept catching the doctors guessing, and it wasn't that I was out to catch them. I just noticed they were guessing and they were wrong on several things. So my understanding at that time was I had some time. If I had like 3 years left to live, that didn't mean I was going to be dead in 3 years. That means I had 3 years left to live. So I had 3 years to figure out what the problems were, solve those problems, and hopefully get 5 years to work with. And then if I could get 5 years, would I be able to turn that into 10 and so on? As it turned out, all those things fortunately happened, but it took quite a run because first of all, I didn't know what I was doing. Second of all, in the alternative world where there's natural products and natural ways to help the body restore itself to health, it's not easy. And there's 1,000 different ideas out there in the mainstream of how to do this naturally. But I had to get to the definitive. I had to get to the things that actually were going to work. Well, as it turned out, I didn't have cancer. I didn't even have heart disease, but I had the things that showed the symptoms of it. What I did have is I had very serious fungal infections that had growths attached to them. I had heavy metal poisoning at a very high level. I had all kinds of chemical imbalances in my body from my exposure to different chemicals in my careers in the past through the oil field. I also had a lot of infections, bacterial infections, and various different things that were just causing my body to come under a load that it couldn't take. My liver, turns out that all my enzyme numbers were off, and I had a fatty liver. I also had fungal infections that were affecting that, and my body had fallen behind its ability to detoxify. My heart disease was also bacterial. So the bacterial infections caused roughness inside the arteries, which caused the plaque to catch. And then I was seeing stars every time I stood up fast. I had major heart palpitations where my heart would stop and then start 2 seconds later and beat like crazy and then stop and then start, and things like that were going on. So it was a very scary time, but I just knew there was something that caused it, and it couldn't possibly be genetic predisposition, because everybody kept saying, oh, it's just your genetics. But what I suspected, it was everything I was doing, everything I was thinking, saying, everything I was consuming for food. I wasn't getting proper sleep. I wasn't hydrating properly. I didn't even know what detox was. So what I did is I set out to find people who were in the natural space who looked really healthy, and they had a really clear message, and they weren't agenda driven. That they were just there to share really good information. Fortunately, as time went on, I was able to meet some of the top people in the world within the first 5 years. And when they told me, okay, you got to do this, this, and this, and it was like, you got to detox, you got to go after your fungal infections, you got to do heavy metal cleanses, you got to get your bacterial under control, because your body is mostly bacteria. But if you have the wrong guys overpowering the good guys, you got a problem. So through a course of a lot of detox and different, like changing everything I was eating to all these different things, I was able to overcome all those within the first 5 years. And the one thing that stood out of the crowd more than anything was the access to different micro and nano nutrients that not only helped to cleanse my body, but there were also deep level nutrition, giving my body the ability to rebuild itself from the damage that it had suffered. So every step of the way, I was able to go up and up and up and up and up in my learning to finally get to the top levels of what it really takes to have, like once I got healthy. So by 2009, I was within the medical range. So everybody was happy. Hey, all your diseases are gone, all your illness is gone. You're actually in a safe place. That took 5 years. And boy, that was an interesting 5 years. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. So then I started to realize, well, how do you actually support super health? How do you get yourself to a level of health that nobody's really ever experienced? And then I started to realize that people didn't even believe you could do that. That the norm in society is to, get old, just go with the flow, get old, get aches and pains. Yeah, you're going to have random diseases that could potentially come your way depending on your genetics. And you may die in your 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. It all depends on genetics. And I realized that that is the exact opposite thinking. That it's not how old you are, it's how long you've been doing either the right things or how long you've been doing the wrong things. And as long as you're still alive and have health and you're breathing and your eyes are open and you can know what you're doing, you have a chance to fix yourself, even no matter what the circumstances are. My circumstances were absolutely horrific. And I had to get away from the medical institution, not because they don't help people. The medical institution helps people all day long, but they weren't able to help me. And I saw they couldn't help my uncles. So I had to take responsibility and really learn what it is to take care of my own body. And I had to learn proper sleep patterns. I had to learn what hydration was. And all these things that I had to learn to support my body's ability to get healthy, because that's all your body wants. That's all my body wants. It wants to be healthy. It doesn't want aches and pains and groans and moans and diseases and sicknesses and infections and all of these things. It just simply wants to be healthy. So it is up to each one of us to learn. And what was fortunate for myself and everyone who I am able to connect with now is that I went through the deepest, darkest valleys of the shadow of death, came through those, came all the way up to the very top, and had total daybreaks happen, where I truly learned, because of my background and experience in these things, what actually works. So today now, I'm able to share the top level protocols, the top level raw material health products that you're going to consume, micro and nanonutrients, the top level ways to cleanse your body, to allow it, the body to renovate itself based upon its original blueprint. And then not have to go through all those struggles I went through for those first 5 years. If I could go back to myself at 46 years old now with what I have, the wisdom I've gained and the things I've learned, I would be able to fix all those problems within 6 months to a year at the very most, and then start to build up a super healthy body to where I am today. So that's the beauty of that. It's like letting everything distill out, letting the cream rise to the top, finding out what the top level of the top level of the top level is, and then only living in that realm, because you only have a certain amount of time, energy, and resources to work with. and you want to get the maximum return in your investment. So I realized it was actually my stewardship job in life to go and learn all those things so I could share that with people and save them all the grief and the time and the energy and the money that they would expend on lesser than the top level things. So today, Activation Products has all the top level understanding and the top level nutrients. Plus, I know other companies who have top level nutritional products that really will move the needle, the things that we don't have right now, because Activation can't have everything. But the protocols and the understanding of how your body works and how you can work to support your body's ability, even without products, is of the greatest value. And then all the products, the nutritional products like micro and nanonutrients and cleansing products that you take, they are complementary to your day-to-day activities. So it's very simple. You know, when you wake up in the morning, you got to know to hydrate. You want to make sure you do some stretching, because stretching and mobility and flexibility and agility are crucial to be able to have a healthy body, because then your lymph system is moving, because your lymph system doesn't have a pump like a heart, right? It has to be pumped through movement. And these are simple things. And you always start where you're at. You never try to be like someone else right away. You just start where you're at and know that you're going to continuously improve every day going forward. And so as you improve, you're actually investing in yourself. So it is how you operate in your day-to-day life is what the thing is. Because every day you wake up in the morning is a new life for you. You know, it's like being raised from the dead, from the sleep, and you live your early youthful years and then into your midlife and then into your twilight years at the end of the day, and then lay down for sleep to regenerate and wake up with a resurrection in the morning. And every day is a new day. And when you see every day as a new day and a new life that you have, you can enjoy that day no matter what the circumstances are. You can turn the day from a terrible day into a terrific day. You can go from a victim into a victor. You can do all these wonderful things once you know how to apply it. And then you just feel better and better and better, because as my old friend Lee Vale would say, nothing feels as good as feeling good. And then you would laugh. And that is the truth. Nothing feels as great as feeling great either. So you want to feel the greatest you possibly can in life and be the most functional, the most valuable, and have the longest extended life you possibly can have with the greatest levels of health. No one wants to live a long time without health. So you want to be able to get your body dialed in no matter what condition you're in now. You can always improve your condition. I'm continuously improving every day as I continually to define and apply and integrate all the easiest things you could possibly do that cost the least amount of time, energy, and money to get the maximum result. So it's not so much where you are now, but it's where you're going. So when you pay it forward and you really think about that, you're investing in yourself. This is an investment in you. So pay it forward through your healing. Keep sharing what you're learning. Keep caring about yourself and everyone around you. And let's continue healing together.